Hello, today I am going to help you survive Crimzon Clover's Arrange Unlimited mode with the Type 1 ship. There's a difference between Arrange Unlimited mode and the Arrange Original. Here you're going to see many more bullets with denser patterns, bullet canceling with the regular shot, along with bullet cancels with partial and full lock-on kills, and whenever you die, you gain a shield upon death. Some things that you'll see players do here when they're playing for score is that they will die immediately at the start of the level so that they can get the shield and it raises their rank, but we're not going to do that here as we're only going to worry about survival. One thing you'll notice here is that your meter will fill up very quickly and that your smaller bullets will get canceled by a lot faster than bigger bullets do, but the bigger bullets you'll notice that they do slow down when you fire upon them before disappearing if you fire upon them enough. I go into break often to get my upgrades because it allows me to cancel more bullets, and it's a lot safer than just trying to get the upgrades without being in break, especially when the enemies gang up on you. Here in this section, it's fairly safe for me to not be in break to get my upgrades, so I'm going to continue getting my option upgrades. I can just hang in the middle here and not really worry about anything shooting at me. There, the break meter, my upgrade meter filled up so fast I couldn't get that option upgrade, so I got it now. I squeaked by. The bigger enemies will have their bullets canceled and their lasers canceled when you defeat them. Note, however, that you cannot cancel lasers with your regular shot, so don't get surprised by that if you find a laser you're trying to cancel with your regular shot and it just goes right through you. One reason I like using Type 1, especially in this mode, is right here with this double break, where my regular shot essentially fills up the entire screen, which allows me to do many really good bullet cancels. So we're coming up on the first boss. Here I like this boss with this mode because it gives you an idea of what's to come. Essentially that you're going to follow the pocket created by the bullet canceling and just go wherever the tank is going and move along with that pocket, doing lock-on shots when you can, and taking care to note of the 1 or 2 bullets that might sneak through and dodging them accordingly. Here I go into break mode just to do more damage, and of course being in break allows me to cancel the bullets a lot easier. And here the pattern repeats itself again, just moving back and forth and canceling those big magenta bullets with my regular shot, and then just doing damage with the boss. Here you'll see that it's not really a lot of dodging involved because of the bullet canceling, so some cases Arrange Unlimited is a bit easier than Arrange Original, only in some instances because you can bullet cancel patterns instead of having to dodge them, so this is one of them. Here in stage 2, I'm going to use the full lock-on whenever possible to reposition myself, knowing that right there I did the full lock-on and I get a really nice bullet cancel. It allows me to reposition myself, and I go into break because I can just go into break and stay in the middle, cancel all those bullets. Type 1, the homing shot, I get the homing shot here. It's not as all-around powerful for survival, in my opinion, as the regular formation, only because as your homing options move around the screen, it leaves your ship vulnerable because you aren't able to cancel as many bullets in front of you. So I'd recommend only going and using the homing shot when you have an opportunity to go into break often. Of course, when you go into break, the shot in front of your ship widens and is more powerful. Also, if you have stages or parts of stages like stage 2 where you have a lot of popcorn enemies that can be easily destroyed quickly by your homing options, and that's good. A good place to use it here. As you can see, my options are just roaming across the screen taking care of business. As we go into the second part of the stage, the mine carts are going to allow me to stay in break for a very long time due to the amount of metals that they drop. So I'm going to go into double break here, and I'm going to extend it as long as possible. And with the amount of firepower I'm doing here, I'm not really doing any much dodging with my homing options and me being in double break and extend break. I can just stay towards the bottom of the screen and just watch out for the stray bullets that'll sneak up on me. But hanging in the middle, just keeping an eye on my upgrade bar to extend the break as long as possible. And here, before the end of the stage, I want to make sure that I switch right back to the regular formation. Homing formation is very difficult for survival for a lot of the bosses in Arrange Unlimited, and you'll see in particular with the stage 2 boss, it is, in my opinion, significantly harder than it is in Arrange Original, and you'll see why. The patterns are a lot denser and you have a lot less room on the bottom of the screen to work with. Here my goal is to destroy as many of the parts as possible. The patterns later in this boss fight are easier if you destroy the individual parts. I'm also going to try to use break defensively. I get tagged there because I didn't move out of the way from those blue lasers in time. But I use break mode to cancel those bullets, and I destroy as many parts as possible. And then I make a mistake here by going into double break. I should have just let the break expire, because what's going to happen is the boss is going to jump into the air and I lose that meter. And then, of course, I die. I didn't move out of the way in time. Here for this part, if you hold the lock button and just shoot in front of you, you'll cancel those green bullets. Since all of your shot is concentrated in front of you, you'll be able to cancel bullets in front of your ship faster. That pattern is difficult. You have to move towards the corner of the screen right when the boss punches the floor like that so that you can dodge those radiating lasers. And you have to kind of squeak by there, and here I'm just hanging out into the corner and biding my time to destroy that phase, and I'm waiting until I get my break mode. I get it just in time. I accidentally get my frontal lock on, thinking that the meter was in break at that point, so that's why I'm working with the frontal lock, which in some ways is good because it allows me to do lock-on shots very quickly. Ideally, I'll destroy the boss before these lasers come out. These lasers are very tough to dodge, and I get cornered by them and lose another life. And I avoid those medals because I want to be in break mode for the start of the next stage. The beginning of this stage has a ton of tiny bullets that you can cancel easily in break. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Those bullets can gang up on you, especially with those insects shooting those double sets of double bullets that for some reason go through your regular shot a lot easier, or a lot faster than the other bullets do. And then I squeak by there, but I almost managed to get out. I get tagged and lose my shield, but that's okay. Here with these ships, just bide your time. Don't move too quickly laterally, or else you'll get hit by those purple bullets. For this one, you hang in the middle of the ship, cancel those, and then now I'm in double break, which will allow me to fill the screen to cancel everything, everything in my path. One other good thing about using break is that it allows you to relatively safely reacquire any upgrades that you lose from dying. So you'll see that I'm still missing my last option upgrade, and I'm going to activate break mode. At this moment, I feel like it's safer for me to not get the upgrade, especially with this mid boss coming up. And so here I'll hang to the left to avoid that laser, and then I'm just going to cancel as many of those bullets as possible. And similar to original, I'm going to misdirect that yellow laser, and then I don't really have to worry about the spread of bullets there because I can cancel those with my shot. I'm using the frontal lock on to do as much damage as quickly as possible. This is another example where this pattern is easier than in Arrange Original because I don't have to dodge that at all. I just cancel it and do damage to the boss. So now I'm still missing my option upgrade. I think now would be a good time for me to get it, which I do. And I'm going to try to go into double break mode as soon as possible if I can, but oh yeah, I activated just in time. And now I am just going to maximize my damage here. One thing to note with the front lock on, you can bring the reticle closer to your ship if you hold down while you're at the bottom of the screen. It's helpful for the really big ships so you can destroy the 2 turrets on the side to prevent them from firing at you. And for any case where you have enemies, large enemies really close. But here I'm gonna maximize my damage and bide my time, and be patient with the bullets coming at you, and know that with those big enemies, those bullets will be canceled when I destroy them. It's a matter of staying in break as long as possible. As long as I'm in break, I have a very good ability to cancel most of the bullets coming at me. Those purple ones, even when you're in break, will sneak by, so they'll create a little pocket for me to go to, which I do. And this mode is just about activating break, repositioning, activating double break, repositioning yourself, and then using that damage and the spread for my shot to create opportunities to reposition myself. So with the start of this boss, I'm going to bullet cancel through the first attack. So I'm not going to do much dodging, but I'm going to hang around the right spot and focus my fire by holding the lock on so that I can create an opening for myself to go through. And then I'm in break mode. My idea was to break through that next attack, which is why I moved to the side, but I accidentally grabbed the homing option because the meter filled up a little bit too much. And here I get a little bit greedy with the damage that the homing option gives. I should have switched to formation. Because I wasn't in formation, I couldn't cancel those purple bullets fast enough, so I ended up taking a hit. Now that I have my formation back because I died, I can cancel those bullets a little bit easier. The goal for this phase is to destroy this phase, or be very close to destroying this phase before the merry-go-round portion comes, because then you have to dodge this very nasty pattern. The strategy here, if you do have to, is to serpentine through the gaps, kind of like an L shape, while going fast enough to avoid those lasers. So I make it out, but now once that's finished, I have to go down as fast as possible before the boss starts firing, which I couldn't do. So I get tagged and lose my shield, so I almost made it out. And here I'm doing as much damage as possible because I do not want to dodge those lasers again. For the third phase here, this is another one where I don't really have to dodge too much. As long as I hold my fire with the lock on as much as possible and pay attention to any bullets that might sneak by and tag me on the side. So you'll see that I'm just moving laterally kind of with the boss because that area is open, that pocket created by my regular shots. So the start of the stage 4, I'll hang to the left here and focus my shot, and then eventually the bullets will gang up on me, so you'll have to move out of the way or else you'll get hit. Go into break mode to take care of this rush easier. But I mistime my cutback and I underestimate the bullet cancel, so I get hit there. And then to prepare for the next section where the destroyers come, I go into break mode, and the goal is to then, with the medals that these ships drop, stay in break mode and extend it through the mid-boss. I want to be in break mode when the first mid-boss comes so that I can destroy it easily. I get my last option upgrade to just give me a little bit more firepower, and now that I'm in break mode, I just focus my shot in front of me, go into double break, and then all these enemies are fairly easy to take care of with my frontal lock and just spamming my lock-on shot in my double break mode. And now that I'm at the first boss in double break, I basically don't really have to dodge much, I just spam my lock-on and then focus my fire, and then I take care of it quite easily. For these, I nearly break in time, but I just missed it, so I lose my shield. Now the second boss can be milked with this Gatling gun. You'll see that I'm using my forward shot to get all those medals from it, and I'm going into break, and I use double break. When playing for score, you would just repeatedly milk this phase until that Gatling gun is destroyed. I'm doing it so that I can catch up on medals. I'm pretty close to the next extend with the small medals at 400,000, so I do that to get some more medals so I can get an extend and have a better peace of mind here. With this part, the two floating turrets will fire at you, but your shot is pretty good at canceling them, so it's just a matter of staying close to that main ship, using the lock-on, and doing damage that way. Now we're going into the cat's eye. So this section is significantly more difficult in unlimited mode because of the sheer amount of bullets that radiate toward you. My advice, I would just hold out as long as you can, break as soon as you can do so. When you break and you destroy one of the turrets or the pods, then the lasers and bullets will get canceled, which gives you a little bit more time to do some more damage. Go into break as much as possible, do as much damage, and just keep going, and I almost make it out without losing a life, but I got hit there, so almost did it. Not quite though. In the second rush, you'll want to move forward to avoid those urchins. The thing is that when you destroy those, they send out an explosion of bullets, so you can't go forward all the way. There, I actually don't know how I didn't get hit there, but with this rush, you'll break to cancel all those, and then now you'll have the section where you see the medium ships that will try to gang up on you, so you want to destroy those as soon as possible, preferably in double break. At some point, if you do not have the frontal lock on, it's recommended to get it. That way you'll have it ready for the stage 4 boss. I have the frontal lock on now. I'm staying in regular formation and do not want homing, and I'm just trying to destroy these as much as possible. And now that I'm in double break, I can hang in the middle here for this final wave, and which will cancel all those bullets firing at me. So now with this boss, I'm going to start with the left middle turret and destroy each part. My goal is to destroy each part only once so that I can reduce overall the amount of bullets that are coming at me. But each part that I destroy, it cancels the bullets, and then I'm just going into break and then just biding my time going into the pockets that are created by my bullet cancels. So I'm doing pretty good. I just have that left outermost turret that is causing me problems. It's pinning me in the corner here, so I'm trying to make it out. And then I squeak through. I'm like, oh man, I almost make it. I'm using the slowdown caused by my bullets firing at the boss's bullets to get to the other side, and then I managed to make it out of this phase. So for the second phase, you can destroy each turret indefinitely, and the idea is to establish a rhythm going back and forth so that you'd only have one turret firing at you at any point in time. One tricky thing is that one of these turrets throws out a laser that goes in multiple directions, which interrupts the flow of you moving back and forth. Another thing is that sometimes the turret that you destroyed gets replaced faster than the other one, so sometimes I'll hang there, and there you go, you see the turret fired its laser at where I was going, so I get hit. Then I'm just moving back and forth, and I almost got hit by the laser again, but I remembered to not move so far to the side there, and I just go back and forth until I take care of this phase. Here I'm not even waiting for the boss. I hang out right underneath the wings so I can destroy the mines without the mines firing revenge bullets at me. When I'm done with that, I hang out towards the middle, and I continuously do full lock-on shots with my frontal lock-on. As long as I'm firing and I stay between those lasers, those bullets will not reach me. So this pattern looks really cool, but it's not very threatening at all. And now here I am doing damage to the boss, and I break so that I can cancel all those revenge bullets, and then I take care of the boss. There I get a full lock on, so I get a nice metal bonus there. So I'm heading to stage 5 with all of my upgrades and a shield, so I'm in a good position. You'll see that here in the beginning, even with bullet canceling, and if you're not in break, you'll see that the bullets will gang up on you fairly quickly. Especially with those medium ships that fire the big magenta ones, they travel very quickly, so you have to make sure to not get caught there, hang out in the corner, and I barely activate break in time to cancel those. When you're in break, it gives me a lot better position to cancel and slow down those bullets. And then of course, now that I'm in double break, I'm in a great position to take care of the popcorn enemies. Again, note that you cannot cancel lasers. In Unlimited, those lasers from the turrets are very wide. And they'll cut the screen in half or into thirds. So they're very dangerous. It's important to destroy those as fast as possible. Now, toward the end of the section, I am biding my time and using break as much as possible. Now that I'm in double break, all I have to worry about are those pink lasers that are firing from the large turrets. And the turrets, somehow they seem to fire where you're going, but every time I destroy a turret or one of the large ships, it generates a huge bullet cancel. So you saw there, I was hanging out in the corner, and now here I'm biding my time, and every time I destroy one of these, all the missiles and bullets get canceled. Homing is a good option for this section coming up too. I prefer formation just because of the spread of the bullets allow me to survive and hang out towards the middle of the screen. And now for these, it's the same thing. I'm inching slowly across the screen until I hit break, reposition myself, and then I inch slowly across the screen again until I pass all those lines of tanks. And I'm taking advantage of the bullet cancels caused by either my full lock-on shot or by the enemies, the large enemies getting destroyed. And you'll see that even when I'm in double break, some bullets will get to me, so it's important to not get too comfortable. Even in double break, you'll see some bullets will try to reach you. Pay attention to the area around your ship. But as long as I'm in break, I'm fairly comfortable here. In this section, there are no turrets that fire lasers. There's still very large tanks that fire the barrage of bullets. And so here you'll see I just cancel it, and pretty good as long as you have full upgrades. For this section, these little tanks will fire upon you, so it's important to move to the side. Normally in a range original, they do not. Here I get surprised by the laser, and I forgot that it would come so quickly. But the idea for this attack is to stay towards the edge of the semicircle of bullets, and then head to the other side to misdirect the laser. Here, normally the missiles can be milked. In Unlimited, my shot is not powerful enough, especially since I died. And what'll happen is the bullets will kind of splash upwards. And now it'll pin me in the corner, and then once I'm pinned in the corner, I get hit by that spread pattern here. Ideally, I had wanted to destroy that top left turret sooner, but I didn't get to do so. But now that I am in break, I can safely move laterally across here to reach the other side, where I can get into a position to get the next turret. But again, I get pinned in the corner here, and I lose a life, so I didn't quite do it. But now I'm at the beginning pattern again. This pattern is, of course, a little easier because I only have one laser firing at me instead of two. The missiles only come out twice, so now you get bullets, so I have to stay towards the front. But since I already destroyed that left turret, I can just hang out and destroy the boss that way. So now we're heading on to the second rush, and here is where you can assess your resources. So I have 5 extends with my shield. So since I get a shield with the death, I essentially have at least 10 extends. That's how I think of it. And so We start off this rush with the spider tank at the bottom. This spider tank is very difficult. You have to dodge its patterns behind you. And since I'm not in break, well, I activate break now, so I have a little bit more firepower, but I do not have my homing options, which is ideal for this section. So I'm just using my full lock on as much as possible. I want to destroy this tank quickly, but I don't want to destroy it too quickly. If I destroy it too quickly, then a second wall will pop up and I don't want to deal with a second tank. Always when I destroy one of the spider tanks, on the off chance that this ship shows up, I hang off to the side, because if you're in the middle when the ship shows up, then I'll get clipped by it, the hitbox that activates. It happened to be way too many times. I'm using my frontal lock on. The frontal lock on I like for this section a lot, just because I can, even when I'm not fully upgraded, I can spam the lock on and get full lock on attacks to do more damage. So yeah, I'm in double break, so I'm in a great position. I moved to the side laterally. I underestimate how much my double break would cancel, so I didn't see that bullet that was right to the side of me. Dying in this section is very difficult. This section is very prone to chain deaths because you lose your upgrades, which allow you to cancel bullets. So without them, you can't cancel bullets as well. So it's kind of like a chain of despair that happens whenever I die. So I'm being very mindful. If you do die, it's better to just continue going into break so that you can get the bullet cancels and reposition yourself rather than getting the upgrade if you can. So here, I did get my upgrade and I managed to go back into double break, and I'm just inching across the screen as slow as possible, being mindful of any bullets that might pass through the pockets that I'm creating for myself. And so I'm heading into the final boss with 5 extends, which is pretty good. So the first section, we're going to have the mini turrets coming out. Here, I want to kill the mini turrets with the full lock on so that I can get the bullet cancels. If I just try to spam partial lock on attacks as fast as possible, I'll kill them, but then those bullets will eventually wall me off and hit me. So I want to wait until I have a full lock on to then fire and then get those bullet cancels so that it'll give me room to move back across the other side of the screen. So here for this first phase, ideally I would arc back and forth to misdirect those. My ship isn't fast enough to do that, so I just activate break to bullet cancel it, and then I'm just firing at it to cancel that pattern as much as possible, including this one, which is very, very difficult to dodge if you're not in break. So since I'm in double break, it makes this a lot easier for me to do and take care of the first phase. For the second one, you're going to have very, very tiny pockets that you'll have to move laterally. Of course, you have to dodge the green bullets there, which I didn't do, but as you hold your lock-on shot or your regular shot, you'll see those tiny little pockets, and then as soon as I get break, I activate it because I definitely do not want to dodge this pattern. But here I'm just biding my time until I get the double break, moving back towards the middle so that I can have a space to move, and I take care of that phase. For this phase, I'm going to move slowly across the screen towards the bottom, and I'm going to use the gap between the volley of lasers to switch directions. So I'm inching, and as soon as those lasers stop firing, most of them will fire at the same time, and whenever they stop firing, I head to the opposite side of the screen. And then the little round clusters of bullets, those will cancel as I destroy the mini turrets, and so it'll let me move around the screen easier. I don't really have to worry about those. And now for the bouncing phase, here, if you hesitate to move through the bottom, that's going to cost you a life. So don't hesitate. If you see a gap, take it, because often it's going to be more difficult as the battle goes on because the boss bounces faster. And I almost made it through. I lose my shield, so I almost made it all the way through. I didn't move to the left fast enough there. I got tagged, but that's all right. So I have 4 extends heading into the first TLB. Here, having the frontal lock on, if anything, is key to dealing damage quickly. Even if you aren't fully upgraded, as long as you have your frontal lock on, you can deal pretty good damage. Another upgrade you want to have is to, if your ship is very slow, upgrade your speed. It'll let you dodge the later patterns easier. So this pattern is pretty simple. You don't have to worry about it too much. As long as you continuously fire your regular shot, it'll cancel most of the bullets coming towards you. For this one's difficult. You have to find the gaps and then move around the boss as he fires a laser at you. So you have to misdirect the laser and then move in the gaps. But for this third one, if you have break, I just use break to cancel it. This next part, the boss is going to fire a barrage of bullets at you. You're going to fire right back at him as long as you have break, and then do damage with the frontal lock on and take care of the boss. I don't have to worry about the next phase. So with this one, I have break. Break is very much recommended for this first pattern because it is very nasty and allows me to cancel all these. For this next one, I have to move around the boss, kind of doing a dance with it. I don't want to stay directly under the boss too long because those clusters of bullets will catch up to me. And now here, this is what I think is maybe even harder than the final attack. You have to move through the maze of bullets while dodging the aimed ones at you. And if I don't move horizontally fast enough, then those bullets that are aimed at me will hit me. But then moving around those blue ones is just so difficult. And of course, since I didn't do enough damage to get to the final attack, the boss is going to repeat those patterns again. So I don't want to have to dodge that aimed pattern again. So I'm desperately trying to do as much damage as possible so I don't have to worry about those aimed bullets, because I'll probably take another death if I do so. So here I'm at the final attack. This one is all about biding your time. So I didn't have enough firepower there. Bide enough time to get break mode. I'm going to activate break mode to allow me to cancel those bullets. And then it's just a matter of being patient, using my lock-ons as much as possible, and then taking care to try not to get clipped by any bullets that pass through my shot. So here I'm getting kind of walled in the corner. I do some pretty sketchy dodging there. I make it out alive, but then I get hit there. So I'm down to 1 extend, but that's all right. So I'm biding my time, canceling as many bullets. Whenever you do get break, or if you die and you have an opportunity to reset yourself, move forward to the boss as much as possible. That way you have room to retreat towards the back, which is what I do here. And so here I defeat the boss and pop off a little bit because I'm pretty happy that I did so. All in all, a pretty good, the score isn't anything to write home about, but I'm quite pleased with the result. And I hope you found this survival guide helpful. Thank you for watching.